Okay.
So all these three, you've done very well. These are all correct. You have about 2 definitions left to associate here. There's just 2 things on the board that haven't been associated. Okay? All right, nice. Come on to the front, please. Let's see what we've got done here. So, musculoskeletal creates heat through metabolism. What kind of metabolism? Well, how does the musculoskeletal system create heat? Yeah, shivering. That's a response we get to being in a cold environment, and it literally just burns a little bit of energy and creates heat in the muscles. Nicely done. Very nicely done. Homeostasis. Does homeostasis, what does that term mean? Balance, yeah. So does balance belong under heat production? Does it belong under heat removal? Yeah, maybe. It's great. You got it around 37 degrees, but it belongs right here in the middle. Excellent. Good. Radiation. Heat transfer via electromagnetic waves. Everybody cool with that association? Does that produce heat? What does it do? Transfers heat. Let's transfer it over to there. Thermolysis. Good. Integumentary. Heat generated by insulation. We know that from our integumentary systems. It's an insulator. So as soon as we remove that, like from a burn or from abrasions, you lose that ability to insulate. It's very serious. Convection. Anybody know that word from at home? Usually your oven is a convection oven. So it's heat transfer using air. Everybody cool with that? Okay, great. How about conduction? Heat transfer via direct contact. That's like when you put your hand on the burner of the stove and you forgot it's on. So that's great. Evaporation. Evaporation. Heat transfer via changing liquid to gas. When do we feel this through evaporation on our bodies? When does that happen? Absolutely, yeah. Perspiration. It hits the skin, the surface of the skin, changes from liquid to gas, and it brings with it, that actually takes energy. That's called the latent heat of evaporation. So it takes energy out with it, which means it takes heat with it. Finally, radiation. It's using electromagnetic waves. That's great. We have something actually at our house that heats up things like this. What is it? Microwave, absolutely, yeah. It's a type of electromagnetic wave. So, you see here we have the ways in which the body produces and keeps heat. We have the ways in which the body gets rid of heat. And then we have the ideal temperature, homeostasis, a balance right in the middle. This is where our body wants to be. It's going to use these mechanisms to keep us in and around 37 degrees Celsius. So now we have to think about what types of conditions, injuries, diseases have we seen that can affect this and throw it off balance and bring this somewhere towards hypothermia of minus 34 or hyperthermia greater than 40. Okay? Any questions about this? Azus, are you happy?
Yes.
Well, I'm happy. Very nice. Can someone please help me take these just down off the board? Thank you. Just put them back on the paper there. Whose book is this? Mine. Good. So keeping that in mind, does anybody have any ideas about certain conditions that may make the patient, conditions we already know about, that may make the patient overheat? Infection. Good idea. What else? Burn. That will make them overheat?
No.
It'll make them cool down because the skin retains heat. Anything else that we've seen? Anything else? Any other conditions or injuries that we see that might affect the temperature, make it too high or too low? Burns, absolutely. Yep, that's what I said, but the burns will make the temperature too low. Right? Good. Nice. So, just move this back here a little bit. All right, nice. So let's move. Oops, we forgot hypothermia over here. Good. Any questions about this so far? About these definitions, the terms we've paired together? Nothing? Great. Okay, so let's move on. So risk factors. So here we've decided that these are all the types of conditions and disorders that can cause heat illness. So that's where the body gets too hot, getting up towards. We know that a patient has a fever when they hit what? What temperature do they hit? And we know they have a fever. 30, 38, that's right. And we know that they're hyperthermic, as defined by which temperature we just looked at? That's right, 40 and greater. So there's a definition to be made there. While they might be hyperthermic on paper at 38, they're not turned hyperthermic until they hit 40. That's when we get really worried and we have to start cooling them quite aggressively at that point. Good. So these are all of the different risk factors or conditions by which heat illness occurs. So let's talk about a little bit examples of when this would happen. So like an environment or a situation this might happen. We saw with our bridging video, this was like an outdoor event. Hi, Benan, come on in. Outdoor event, like a running race, okay? Good. So, Azus, come on up. Give us an example, or you don't have to come up, you can tell me. Give us an example of an infection or disorder that would cause the heat to go up. A specific infection or specific disorder. Can you grab your ACT too, please? Carditis, which one will cause the infection? Myocarditis? Endocarditis. Very good example. So endocarditis will make the body's temperature go up.
No.
Good. What about this? What does that mean? Hyperthyroid. What does that do to the body? Have a seat, please, man. That's right. So we have increased metabolism, right? So great association there. Increased metabolism. Increased metabolism is demonstrated. What kind of vital signs might we get with increased metabolism other than a high body temperature? Tachycardia, tachypnea, low body mass. What else? Yes, high blood glucose. These are all things that increase your body's temperature. Psychiatric and neurological conditions. Stroke. How would stroke create an increase in body temperature? We're on to something here. Heat stroke, yeah. But is that a neurological condition? Was that man in the race suffering from a neurological condition or an environmental one? Yeah, right. So the word stroke is misleading. So you're thinking about stroke associated with CVA, but in this case, what part of seizure? Nice one. Very nice. Seizure. Why would a seizure elevate body temperature? It's shivering to the maximum degree. This is talking about a full muscle contraction at full strength for 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. You can imagine that that would increase your body temperature even if you're normal and healthy. What kind of medications or drugs may increase the body temperature? So either prescription or street drugs. What kind of medications increase metabolism or increase body temperature? Steroids? Yeah, steroids, the onset of action of steroids is very slow, right? So let's think about, that's a good idea, but let's think about something that is a fast-acting drug or a prescription medication. Epi, yeah, so Epi could increase your body temperature. There's a better one than that. It's not one we're going to give. It's not a medication that a doctor would ever prescribe. Heroin. Good try. But let's think about what is the other street drug or illicit drug that does the opposite of heroin. Heroin's like very much a downer. What's the upper?
Opioid.
Opioid and heroin are the same, both downers. What do you think? Cocaine, absolutely. So right here, right. If anybody's ever watched a movie in their lives, they probably know that you sniff cocaine. So stimulants, they call those stimulants. There's other versions of them like methamphetamines, ecstasy. I'm trying to remember all the educational videos I've watched in my life. So how about this? When would you have this, especially here in Qatar? High ambient temperature and high humidity. When would you have this? What environment do we live in Qatar?
Hot.
That's true. It's hot because of what? Is it hot because the sun is closer to the earth? Or is it hot because of what? Why is it so hot here? It's a desert. That's right. We're in a geographical area that has associated very high temperatures and very high humidity. Desert. Is it 2 S's or 1? 1, that's right. It's not the one you eat. Dessert. Good. So look at all these situations in which the patient's body temperature might be adversely affected to go up. Outdoor events, dehydration, we have infections, a great idea like endocarditis, metabolism's going up for reasons like metabolic disorders like hyperthyroid, seizures, that's great. What part of the brain controls body temperature? Hypothalamus, great, yeah. So any disorder of the hypothalamus, let's say like a basal skull injury, that might actually affect body temperature regulation as well. Stimulants, epi, maybe, but we're thinking more about the illicit drugs, the drugs that we're not going to prescribe. And then of course, here in the desert in Qatar, we have very high temperatures, and when the summer hits, high humidity. Okay? Can anybody say to me what the law of osmosis is? Yeah, what is osmosis? That's right, yeah, high to low concentration. Good. So, how does that affect us in high humidity environments? You lose fluid, that's right, yeah, because we are high concentration, the environment's low, it evaporates out. Good. Nicely done, everybody. Any questions about this? So when we're, we're doing our scene assessment, we have to consider these things. Our initial assessment, we have to consider these things. Sample history, that'll fit into sample history. Medications they're on, maybe they've done street drugs, maybe they have hyperthyroidism. Good. So this is a table that you can find in your Nancy Caroline book. It's table 30, chapter 35, tables 1 and tables 2. Probably a good idea to know these for any upcoming examinations you might have, maybe lab prize. Okay, good. So, I want everybody to concentrate really hard for the next 30 seconds. Concentrate. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Do you remember your numbers? Because I can start again. Who's a 1? Lift your hand. Who's a 1? Good. 1s. You're going to be starting over there. Who's a 2? Who's a